All right, I am here with Alex LeMay. Thank you so much for joining. Alex is a film and TV producer. You are traveling the world making movies. You have a podcast called Pitchcraft, which is also a Substack publication. You are also working at the frontier of technology and film and TV and content and what's next. I'm very excited to talk to you today, and I really love your topic, which I want to mention the three that you suggested to me, and yeah, so they were why just make great work and they'll find you quietly destroyed a generation of filmmaking careers, which I loved. Your second one was what Ukraine taught me about creativity under pressure. And then your third one was if Hollywood were invented today, it wouldn't look like Hollywood. And then you had like a subtitle that said designing a film industry from scratch. And so I really latched onto that subtitle. So the topic that we kind of went back and forth, and I was happy that you seemed to feel like I picked a good one out of
Very.
what you
I'm
presented me.
glad you did.
So your topic is designing a film industry from scratch in 2026.
Yes, it
And I will
is.
start our 20-minute timer.
All
Um,
right.
what
Awesome.
does what does that where does that begin? Or has it begun?
Look, first, I think it began in 2006 when YouTube came online, and we were as rudimentary as they were, right? When we were able to tell stories online, the industry didn't respond to that at all. It was like a cute gimmick,
Yeah.
and um, once that happened, the train had already hit them.
Hmm.
And so we've been through this situation many times. If you're a producer who's been here since the turn of the 21st century, you've seen so many of these disruptive states, which is remember the World Wide Web was going to destroy everything. Remember Y2K was going to kill us all. Remember, I mean, it was a Blockbuster closing and streaming coming online. All of that stuff was going to kill Hollywood, and none of it did. And we'll be having the same conversation next year, right? So this is just another disruption, and I don't think Hollywood knows how to handle these because they're built on a pretty old, brittle system.
So I guess are you suggesting that YouTube is has been quietly redefining
I
the
think
industry?
so. I
Yeah.
think I think what we've been using is audience building, and we started this early, right? I helped studios, with technologies to build and aggregate audiences. We showed them how, and they still go with the $240 million ad buy, right? So really, what we're talking about. Let me back up and
Yeah.
contextualize this. I think Hollywood 2.0 isn't really built on gatekeeping or scarcity the way this current system is. It's built on
Hmm.
creators proving demand before they ask for any permission, right? So this is really about not waiting for the green light anymore. I think we see it in the non-D movement. I think that's the most coalesced version of what's coming next, right?
Yeah.
So instead of waiting for that green light, creators show demand. They create, they generate demand. And then what that should start kicking off is layers of types of financing. So once you show demand, that's one layer of financing. Once you grow an audience to a certain size, that's another layer of financing. Once you provide the proof, and then you maintain the rights, we have to start talking about rights. If I own a play and I do it on Broadway, they don't steal my rights. The theater doesn't own my rights. I get them back when that run is over, right? So, same with sports, same with music. Music figured this out a long time ago. So, Hollywood isn't really built on that scarcity anymore because they can't claim scarcity anymore. And they can't claim pretty soon they're not going to be able to claim production cost anymore
Yeah. Right. And
as a reason for saying no, right?
I think the only point of tension that I see in what you're saying with like the current conversation, I think, is about scarcity. Because when right now we have, there's clearly already an abundance of content.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, it's, I think there's one maybe school of thought that's like, there's so much that we have to create, it's some new form of scarcity that brings in this allure, that isn't there, that we have to reinvent. I don't quite know.
Well, all right.
I've heard this. Yeah.
Of course you have. This isn't old. This is,
Yeah.
I think the reality of it is this has always been here. Why? Mr. Beast isn't a dude. He's a full-blown multi-million, if not billion-dollar studio.
Yes. And
He
employs
controls his
hundreds of
destiny.
people. Yes.
Right. And so you can't say that the creator economy, the numbers just don't add up. All right. So
Yeah.
let's take the algorithm, not for Hollywood, they don't add up. Let's just take the algorithm, right? Sure, there's an algorithm, but the reality of it is the tools we have available to us, the people who are making things now in this current environment are very fast.
Yeah.
Slow and expensive is not a model one can sustain. And I'm sitting here at CES and I'm listening to a Warner exec yesterday say, yeah, we're exploring AI, man. We put it into a small ad team and we're going to take about 3 years, And so they know they're not ready. They know they can't spin around. They know they don't have an infrastructure built in the core of this thing that can absorb this kind of stuff that's coming at them.
Right.
I agree with the volume. We are in the middle of a deluge of AI crap is going to
Yes.
it's going to subsume us.
Yeah.
However, competition is still competition. The people who own the right to make stuff are not going to be the people with the least taste. The people
Yes.
with the least taste make the most on these things. The people with the taste typically get paid with some wreaths and some laurel wreaths and a pat on the back in
Right.
many instances when this massive talent is there. So people with audiences are going to control this. It's not going to be just money because things that pretty soon when the cost of production goes to next to nothing, and this is what the Roku guy said yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, we all have.
Hollywood does that. The cost curve doesn't match. Algorithms change, crisis change, comes and goes in our industry.
Yeah.
This will end. This hype, but what won't end is audience growth, and what won't end is the cost of production going down ever more.
Yeah. I mean, I think, we are, I've talked about this a lot. We are in anytime there is uh, a hardware, a big price or an accessibility of hardware. We saw
Yes,
this when we went to 16 millimeter films. We had French New Wave. When
right.
digital became available, the 90s renaissance of indie films happened. And of course there's going to be one with everyone having a phone. And so we're already kind of seeing that, but we're seeing that happen, I think, in a very unexpected way.
Mhm.
And I think we're at a point now where, and I don't want to derail too much from the topic, but I'm very curious about this because this is, I think, such a big point of contention for non-D filmmakers right now is, um, it's not expensive to make a movie. It's expensive to market a movie. So
Yeah, I
I,
argue that it is expensive to make a movie, depending on where
uh,
you sit.
you
Okay,
can't,
$10,000 to a
yeah,
dude or to a young filmmaker
yeah,
is almost impossible. That's Mount Everest. So it doesn't. It's all a matter of scale. I get what you're saying. It is expensive to market a movie, but you know what's happening is people are coming based on passion and affinity and emotional connection, and that's what we're measuring now. We have to stop with likes and
yeah,
clicks, because large audiences are going to be ever more challenging to gather. So we're going to have to deal with less money, more content, but I think that market like ours in the United States has a really good way of just kicking out stuff that people don't want. The market tells you what it wants, and it's telling us. It doesn't want the star system. Well, let's look at this year's box office with
yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
all these small, I'm bucking for an Oscar movies
yeah,
failed, and some of the big ones failed, right? And so they were going to go for prestige people. They were going to go for this. But the reality of it is AI did not cause this problem.
No.
AI exposed it.
Hmm. So let's look at like your topic is designing a film industry from scratch in 2026. Um, First off is like when you are approaching this, is this like your own take, or are you saying that this is sort of like the inevitable build that we are about to undergo or already undergoing?
Look, here's what we have. We have a really, as creators, we have a very small window because what will happen is industry, an industrial sized capacity, will eventually reorganize.
Yeah.
Right now, what I'm watching is a movie industry in particular in free fall.
Yes, I think we all see that.
And so you have a great deal of denial, and they all know it's coming. The 10 top AI companies are going to be Hollywood.
I mean, tech owns Hollywood, in my opinion. So
It
I
does.
guess
Well,
by
and so
proxy,
then we have to start talking
yeah,
about who's running the show, right? Wrong
yeah,
guys for the job. Engineers are not good storytellers.
no.
And they proved that.
I have a lot of engineering friends, but yes,
No offense. They do what they do well. I work
yes,
with
yeah,
engineers every day.
yeah.
We literally had to hire a coder in 2009 and never let him go because we needed him to understand how stories were told and how creators use technology. And now he's this guy with the atom smashed mind of movies and technology, and he's
I
rare.
Yes, I that's something that could be its own topic. I worked in tech, uh, on the fringes of like VR and sort of like interactivity. It was
Yeah,
very much on the precipice of like what I guess would probably be AI right now.
sure.
Really like hit that friction point of like, you know, storytellers and engineers, like they need to figure out how to work together. And I think, it's been 5 years now. I think things have gotten better from what I've seen.
Oh,
So
Avi, for sure. But
yeah,
what I'm saying is that little cluster of storytelling devs
yeah,
is rare. And
yes,
they are
yes.
going to be sitting in the middle of this thing. So, folks, if you want to make a mint, learn how to make movies, learn how to code. You're going to be great. Um, but all right, so I mean, look, to sort of get back to it, I think we have to look at where we all came from, right?
Yeah,
And where we all came from was the system of scarcity. Agents no longer really make sense anymore, and they're sitting there shedding their job description by the day. And no offense to our agent brothers and sisters, it's just that that model was built when you called people, right? It was
yeah.
built when phones were even scarce, right? So you needed that person who was the connector. Well,
Yeah,
now we connect with each other in a way I don't need a high-priced agent
yeah.
to
I
connect me.
There are many industries that are undergoing just like the cutting of middlemen,
Yeah,
basically. And a lot of that is what's happening. And it's
exactly, exactly.
in many ways it's disruptive, but it's ultimately good for the creators
I
in the long run, I think.
I agree because
Um,
look, it was just another gatekeeper, right? So you built it on
yeah,
scarcity, you built it on gatekeeping, you built it on proof after permission. Meaning, you gave me permission to make my movie. You gave me the money, and then because we all had a hunch back at the office, right?
yeah,
That this was going to be successful and that this script really sings,
yeah.
right? That's not how things are done anymore,
Well,
right? It's not a hunch anymore. There's
so that
proof.
you are, you've taught people, right, or coached people how to pitch scripts, right? So,
Yes, very
so
much.
I imagine how does, uh,
How do we shift?
how do you shift with that
I
role? Yeah,
shift by going to, instead of creating the sales school for filmmakers, which is still a thing for us, right? Like, you still have to pitch, you still have to sell. Like, the sales cycle isn't going to go away, right?
are you selling to different people?
I think that we're still going to have this hybrid model, right? I don't think Hollywood is going to just leave us. It is going to be something completely different.
Yeah,
And I think we're going to interact with it when it's time. because I think what we have now is we have an off ramp of my YouTube channel is monetizing that gives me the right to say no to some things. I don't have to take a shitty deal where I give away my rights, where
Yeah.
I give away every ounce of ownership for what? One group of maybe 3 or 4 people that is vibing out in an office, kind of thinking this might work. I can't run a business like that anymore. And I've been burned by it so many times because they don't have stake in my film. If
Yeah.
it fails, it's just another write off, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for us, it's insane. It's like, oh, that was our life for 4 years.
I mean, I I I think, aside from the fact that YouTube is the monolith that it is, the actual ecosystem that is created is in the right direction of
Yes,
giving creators the ability to monetize themselves, keeping ownership to their content.
right.
Where I start to, it's not a good place to put a feature film. Uh, you know,
No,
and
but
that's where I start.
there are new platforms that allow us to do that.
There are many that are trying. I don't know that there are any that are really hitting the
No,
mark right now for independent film.
no, definitely not. We are in the middle of the shift. We are in the beginning of the beginning.
Yeah.
So we don't know what that's going to look like. Distribution is going to change.
But
Somebody is going to unlock this. We are going to be working with Hollywood. That is not the issue. They have to change with us and they have to come along for the ride and we have to start being partners. I can't be their employee anymore.
hmm, it's a much more optimistic outlook than I think a lot of people have.
Yeah, and it might be, and I might be completely wrong, and this may sound foolish. I think that making movies the way they make them now, I mean, Francis Ford Coppola was right. The most dangerous thing to the film industry is an eighth grader in Ohio. There's a fourth grader right now who just got paid $1 million for his freaking movie,
Yeah.
his AI movie, right? And they're sitting on their desks right now. They think these things are coming 3 years from now, 5 years from now. They're here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've spoken about this a lot. I mean, I worked essentially at YouTube, so I've very much been involved in this and
Wow.
saw this firsthand. Um, we have I try to word this carefully, but I do think we've sort of lost a generation of filmmakers.
I agree.
Um, I think even maybe I read something that you said something similar. Maybe yeah. And they, those people who, go to film school, like a generation, probably the generation after me, really, um, they went to film school and they graduated and they didn't want to be filmmakers, they wanted to be YouTube creators. That's a whole generation that
Yeah.
shifted. And I think now we are at a precipice of like there's a new generation that is going to go to film school. And what are they I don't think they also want to be YouTube creators. There is a shift here, but I don't know
There
where it's
is.
going.
I think what they've been introduced to is they've grown up too, those creators on YouTube, right? And so they're teaching the ones that are coming up that long form can work, that long form meaning 15 minutes. Right?
Okay.
um, but
Yeah.
but that longer pieces can work. I think that we're seeing that taste is really at the center. The word taste and signal is all over this convention right now.
Hmm.
So taste is not made with money and it's not made by studios, it's made by audiences,
Hmm.
right? It's made by people who live on the street and talk to each other and interact in a certain way, and then it shows up in a piece of media, and then we like that thing, and then we follow that thing. And
Yeah.
so we need to start saying that we need to start pulling people into movies, not pushing movies at them.
Yeah.
And trailers are, I think a trailer is really a POC now, right?
Hmm.
I think it's going to be proof of concept. I think we're going to see brands coming in super early, like at the POC stage, right?
Yeah.
And the reason is if you've got an audience, they're watching those things. Maybe it's not the biggest buy, the biggest sponsorship dollars at that point, but it's stacking, and every single layer of this proves the next. Let me pull this out for a second,
Please.
because I think this is really important, right? Um, so if we're talking Hollywood 2.0, this is something I wrote down. It's really built on this lack of scarcity. It's built on abundance. It's built on the idea we have all the tools we need. We don't have all the resources we need, but there's now ways of, with AI, lowering that production cost for a YouTuber even, right?
Yeah.
It it's controlled by creators with audience, right? It's optimized on speed. Its proof comes before the permission is given to do the whole big thing, right? So it's talent plus audience equals the leverage. We've always known that. But why is it now so important and so far in front, right? Is that this we started looking at Hollywood. Everything was about risk aversion. I wrote my article, posted I think 2 days ago, was about that Hollywood is a factory town. Well, you can't do creativity like you do steel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to start saying creativity is this unique thing that we have to treat.
Yeah.
If we notice look at sports, tons of talent cultivation, ugly, messy, expensive. We don't have any of that. What do we have? Right? We have an ambiguous, loose confederation of people on a platform called YouTube.
Right. Um, that
So
that
there are problems. There's
yes.
problems to my argument, but I
Well,
think we're just at the beginning.
that's been our 20 minutes, but this is a topic I could talk forever, and I think your thoughts are extremely important, urgent, and very relevant. To me, I think, just to kind of wrap it up with one last like thought, I think I'm very much on the same page as you. I think we need more platforms that are more more creator friendly than YouTube. Just more
I think we need, yeah,
a little more
agreed. I think we need a
democratized.
competition. I think we
Yeah.
need a pushback counterweight to YouTube.
Yes.
Right now, it's the only thing we got.
The only missing ingredient, and I just want to poke a little bit to see what you think about this, that I think in all of this is, with all this abundance, I still think the real like broken missing ingredient is discovery. I
Oh God, yes.
I don't,
Okay, then
and
let's talk about.
that's where it's marketing, and like that's where I start to get
I
like, why can't we
I
figure out
agree,
discovery?
but discovery can be done. A pull mechanism can be done at scale, the same way a push mechanism can be done at scale, right? I truly think that we have to start selling passion. We have to stop selling the product benefit, right? Like I shouldn't even talk about the product benefit, the product features,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Stop showing me a trailer that shows me everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like I know the movie, I no longer need to go see Wolverine
Right.
and Deadpool, right? Because I know what's going to go down, and the formula is so played, and we know it, right?
So what do we
So,
show?
right. So we show backyard blockbusters that people are gonna that have soul, that have heart. Maybe they're not the most best produced thing in the world, but they've got something, and we can latch on and root for these little heroes that come out. We don't. Not everything needs to be a goddamn experience.
Yeah.
Everything can, like, how about we have a movie about somebody who's trying to save their store, not the universe?
Well, I hope that that is the trend that we are seeing. I think that's
Yeah, I don't
very
know.
much part of the movement that NonDē is supposed to be about. We'll see if it picks up. I hope it does. It's
I
very
do
much
too.
why I'm doing this series, why I'm talking to folks like you.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'm, yeah, there's still a lot of things that have to happen in the non-D movement for it to coalesce. We have a small window,
Yeah.
a really, really small window to own something here. And if we
Yeah.
stay messy, disorganized, inconfident, like we lose our confidence because we're sensitive little creator creatures,
Yeah.
right? And we can lose our confidence, and we're up against some pretty vicious folks who got where they are by being able to make decisions that were not in the best interest of a human being.
Yes. And stomping on all these
And
little
exactly.
guys.
So I love it.
All right.
Avi, we'll talk about, generation, lost generation. I think that's another one. Maybe I'll have you on my podcast and we'll keep going.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All
And
right,
would love
brother.
to have you again. Thank you so much, Alex. This
This
has
has
been
been
great.
great. Thanks for having me. Take care.